Hey guys, Nicolai here. Before we get into some of the longest running bugs in League of Legends, like this bug that's been in the game for the past 6 years, I first gotta let you know that today's video is sponsored by ProGuides. ProGuides.com helps you take your game to the next level, with all the courses you'll ever need, and most of all, their 24/7 unlimited and on-demand coaching from some of the best players. Over 100,000 gamers have been coached on ProGuides and seen positive results in their rank. Get started with ProGuides today by using the first link in the description. Now with that being said, let's jump right into the video. If you've played League of Legends for any extended amount of time, you will know that occasionally something in the game breaks. This comes in the form of a bug in the code, or multiple bugs. Just like recently we had an Annie with infinite stuns, a little further back we had a Yasuo who could use his Q twice in one attack, and even further back there was a bug so big that Riot Games had to close the ranked queues entirely. But the thing about these bugs and thousands of others is that they were fixed. Eventually. However, today we're talking about bugs that have existed in the game for months, if not years, and despite that, they have not been fixed and still exist today. So with that being said, enough introductions, and let's get started. Beginning with number 5, we take a look at Nunu, wherever he is. In our previous video about bugs in League of Legends, I mentioned the notorious invisible Nunu bug, which for those unaware is when Nunu can be entirely invisible to the enemy while using his snowball. This results in moments like these.
Oh, what the f***? Dude. He was invisible.
And in that original video I made, I go on to say that the bug had just recently been now fixed. As within that video, I even show a clip of a Riot employee encountering the bug, getting upset, then saying, "I'll fix it myself on Monday."
God, I'll go fix it myself on Monday.
Spoiler alert, he did not fix it on Monday. As I have received many of your comments since the release of that video, saying that you just recently encountered an invisible Nunu. This comment is literally from just a day ago. So while looking around, I found a very detailed post on Reddit from user Noha all about the invisible Nunu. This has an insane amount of information about the bug. I'll leave a link in the description for anyone interested. But some key takeaways from this post was the information on how the bug happens. It would seem Nunu needs to have the Hunter's Talisman, and the enemy team must never have had vision on Nunu prior to his first gank for Nunu's invisibility trick to work. And all this information is great. A Riot employee even commented on it. But this post was made 3 months ago. And invisible Nunu is still terrorizing people to this day. Moving on to number 4, we now take a look at Rek'Sai, who has a game-changing bug that has been in the game for at least 4 years. The bug in question is an interaction with Rek'Sai and her knock-up ability. Sometimes, instead of knocking you up like normal, Rek'Sai can knock you up into a whole different world. Instead of explaining it any further, take a look at this video of the bug in full effect.
Rampage. An ally has been slain.
Although I've been able to find a handful of videos of this bug taking place, I can't put my finger on what exactly is making it happen. I will however say that the bug does occur on a variety of champions, but it seems to be ironically most effective on Nunu, as I found so many videos of this happening to Nunu. Most specifically, this video titled "Nunu Learns to Fly." The earliest appearance of the bug that I could find comes from 2015, and the most recent I found happened just a couple months ago. It seems that this is a bug that gets eventually fixed just to be eventually broken again. But on this topic, most notably, this Rek'Sai bug ended up hitting the big stage in July of 2016, when the bug occurred in the middle of an LCS game and resulted in the match being stopped.
Make that kill happen. how do you do that? Like, he did everything right, but now Phoenix also in danger of being domed.
Here's the dive, but Lolo's here, locked up with the Frozen Tomb, and Phoenix able to flash out of the way. Shield pops in, Sneaky taking damage, but he just face tanks it to try and get him. Lolo wants in, but he has to flash out to safety. Whoa! Comes back down and takes out Sneaky, but he's gonna die for it.
We're gonna see a pause.
Alrighty then.
We're definitely gonna see a pause for that, and this is gonna be super interesting because that was what looked like a super old bug that you haven't seen for a while. It's one of those, when you get knocked up into the air, you stay there for longer, but what looked like was happening is Lorlo was still hitting Sneaky while he was in the air, which resulted in his death because Sneaky couldn't notice that was happening.
So, like you heard from the announcers, during this whole buggy interaction between Rek'Sai and Trundle, the Trundle was still hitting Sneaky's champion. This whole interaction was about to give Trundle 2 free kills before the game was paused. And since it was C9 who was negatively affected by this bug, C9 was given the choice of whether or not they wanted to remake the game, which they of course did decide to remake. But after the remake, and despite the second chance, they still lost. Now, number 5 and 4 were kind of long-winded, so we're going to do a quickie on number 3, featuring Draven. Apparently, for the longest time now, Draven has had a very annoying bug. Sometimes randomly after certain interactions, Draven can auto-attack with his axe, expecting it to fly back like it usually would. But instead, once hitting a minion, the axe just disappears, leaving Draven at a huge disadvantage. And I actually found a clip of this bug happening to Tyler 1, and I thought it was absolutely perfect for this video.
That's huge for Where's my axe, right? Don't start. Dude, what the is that? Dude! Fix the bug! Okay, Riot Games, please fix the Draven bug. That bug has been in the game since Draven's release. Please fix that bug. Please. Look at this minion! What is it doing? Riot Games, please fix a few bugs that have been in the game for a long time. Please.
Moving on to number 2, we now take a look at Zac. This bug takes place with Zac's E. On occasion, instead of Zac's E performing as normal, launching his whole body to wherever he targeted, the bug makes it so Zac's launching animation doesn't happen, and instead, he just runs. Now, this bug is very silly because unlike the Rek'Sai bug or the Nunu bug, this bug doesn't really change anything in the game. It's just a visual bug. But the reason I'm talking about it in this video is because this is one of the most vintage bugs there are. This bug has literally been a thing since the release of Zac in March of 2013. And despite that, apparently there's been times when Riot said they fixed it, but it still hasn't been fixed. So I think Zac deserved a mention on this video. Now for a grand finale, number 1 comes to you from Lee Sin. This bug is one of my favorite bugs ever. And before I can explain the bug, I need you to see it first. So take a look at this video of a Thresh trying to hook the enemy ADC. As you can see, that is not the enemy ADC. This may look very confusing, but the reason behind it is still kind of confusing. Essentially, when Lee Sin activates the second part of his Q, Lee Sin's hitbox teleports briefly all over the map, randomly. So theoretically, there is a brief window of time where moments like these can actually happen. And this bug has been around since the release of Lee Sin.
This page is so much better. It gives me just enough more AD to where I can... Wait, what? 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 Wait, what? What? What?
But this story actually has a different ending. Because in the most recent patch 9.16, this Lee Sin bug has finally been fixed. After 8 years, the magical world of the teleporting Lee Sin hitbox bug comes to an end. But let's not forget that this guy told us he would fix the invisible Nunu bug on Monday, and he never did. So don't be surprised if the Lee Sin bug comes back very soon.